In the frozen north, where the cold cuts deep, a massive presence rises within the wind-scoured forest. The ground trembles as each step lands like a hammer, waves of muscle tightening with unwavering focus. Explosive speed surges like a storm, turning a single lunge into an overwhelming display of force. Overwhelming follows, an absolute authority that leaves no room for resistance. What truly turns the grizzly bear into nature's nightmare? Refined hunting skill or unstoppable raw power? The grizzly bear stands among the top competitors at the highest level of the food chain. Claws reaching up to 4 inches allow it to dig for roots, tear into insect nests, and maintain an advantage in close-range encounters. An exceptionally keen sense of smell enables it to detect food from miles away, leaving little in the mountains and forests unseen. Its diet shifts with the seasons, ranging from roots and berries to salmon, along with brief opportunities when prey becomes vulnerable. Within the ecosystem, the grizzly bear also helps disperse seeds and return nutrients to the forest soil. The grizzly bear stands as a symbol of explosive power in the wilds of North America. When upright, it reaches up to 8 feet tall and carries nearly 900 pounds of muscle. Behind that towering presence, however, is a true endurance athlete. The elk presents a formidable challenge. Its powerful frame weighs hundreds of pounds, crowned by antlers stretching close to 4 feet across. Each breath released into the cold air is a moment of alertness, listening to the surrounding wilderness. When the grizzly appears, the pursuit unfolds from a steep slope down toward the river's edge. In water several feet deep and near freezing, long legs that once offered speed begin to slow the elk. With each passing moment, body mass, long claws, and 4-limb traction give the grizzly a clear advantage. As the animal weakens, the bear secures a reward of roughly 100,000 calories, enough energy to sustain it through several days of foraging. In other valleys, mule deer and white-tailed deer often fall within the bear's hunting range. They are cautious animals, capable of accelerating beyond 30 miles per hour when alarmed. The grizzly rarely gives chase from a distance. It uses brush cover, sloped terrain, and wind direction to close in within about 50 feet before accelerating. Unlike predators built only for short sprints, the grizzly can maintain high speed over several miles, gradually wearing down young or weakened deer. A single misstep in tall grass or a brief pause near a fallen tree can end the pursuit before the forest returns to silence. Within the cycle of the ecosystem, nature does not favor the fastest. It rewards the species that knows how to wait for the right moment. In the north, gray wolves are disciplined hunters, weighing around 120 pounds and asserting control through speed and endurance. To the grizzly bear, a wolf pack is both a rival and a living signal that food is nearby. With an exceptional sense of smell, the bear can detect food from more than a mile away when the wind is favorable. It does not need to race. It only needs to arrive at the right moment. As the wolves finish a hunt, a massive presence emerges like a moving wall, forcing the pack to step back and surrender the prize to the stronger contender. In contrast, when wolves discover a grizzly guarding a cache hidden beneath leaves and soil, a psychological standoff begins. The pack circles at a distance, vocalizing and relying on numbers to stretch the tension. The grizzly responds with the stillness and patience of stone. Rising up, it sweeps long 4-inch claws through the air, marking a clear boundary that cannot be crossed. The wolves understand that a single miscalculation against such overwhelming mass carries unacceptable risk. They keep their distance, waiting instead for scraps rather than pressing the encounter further. In the harsh cold, every calorie counts as a vote for survival. There is no hostility here, only an unspoken agreement between two of nature's most capable competitors. Bison are the living fortresses of the North American grasslands. An adult can weigh nearly twice as much as a grizzly bear, with massive muscle and curved horns shaped like heavy hooks. When provoked, a short charge is powerful enough to make the ground tremble, turning a distance of just a few dozen feet into a danger zone. Despite their imposing presence, bison are primarily grazers, acting as the grassland's natural trimmers and helping maintain ecological balance. The grizzly bear understands the risk clearly. It does not confront raw strength head-on, but observes patiently from a distance, searching for the weakest link, an inexperienced calf that drifts away, or an older individual falling behind the group. The encounter unfolds. As the herd senses danger, bison surge forward as a unified warning. By that moment, the grizzly has already seized the opportunity, securing the smaller target before the protective formation can fully close. Nature leaves no room for mistimed movement. In a brief moment of disorder, the chase is settled by the laws of survival. After each loss, the herd tightens its formation, drawing calves into the center of a protective circle, an enduring lesson in collective defense. In the world of the grizzly bear, authority is not expressed through sound, but through tracks and scent left along winding streams. When resources grow scarce, the breeding season arrives, or territory is challenged, encounters with others of the same kind become a test of leadership. When two adult males meet, it is like opposing currents carrying massive stones. There is no reckless rush forward. Distance is measured, posture is set, and each circles to claim the most favorable position. A firm advance forces the other to yield a step, followed by stillness, as both weigh their remaining energy and understand the cost of a mistake. Elsewhere, a mother with cubs becomes a clear boundary. At the first hint of an unfamiliar scent drawing close, she positions the young behind her, leaving the intruder with a choice: to move forward or withdraw. Most of the time, a cautious male avoids a prolonged confrontation, knowing the risk outweighs any gain from a blind dispute. These encounters are rarely ends in themselves. They serve as nature's way of self-regulation, dividing space, limiting direct competition, and teaching each individual when it is time to move on. In the forest, lasting dominance belongs not to the one that challenges most often, but to the one that knows when to stop and endure into the next season. The moose is the giant of North American forests, the largest member of the deer family, weighing over 1,500 pounds and standing taller than a person while moving through marshland. A single forward kick or a close-range shove can turn an encounter into a high-stakes gamble, which is why the grizzly bear rarely charges straight in. With a younger moose, the strategy is to control the pace. The bear circles with the wind, pushing the target toward the water's edge or into soft mud, where escape routes narrow and every stride grows heavier. The pursuit is brief and intense. With a bite force estimated at around 1,200 pounds per square inch, the grizzly can end the struggle in an instant. Against a fully grown moose, the rhythm changes. The grizzly tries to draw the rival into a stream several feet deep or into boggy ground, using terrain as an ally. But the moose holds its ground, lowers its center of mass, and delivers warning kicks like an invisible barrier, forcing the bear to ease back and reweigh the risk. One misjudged moment is enough to flip the balance. Encounters like these reinforce a stark rule of the wild. Strength is not measured by muscle alone, but by the ability to choose the right moment, where a single mistimed beat can reverse the entire struggle for survival. The The Arctic seems to tremble at the very moment the predator unleashes its explosive move, without roaring or spectacle, as a precisely calculated formation locks the target in place. Other rivals fight merely to survive, while orcas appear to assert dominance, showing that beneath the icy waters, true power lies not in muscle, but in intelligence operating like a perfectly tuned machine. This is an ocean where every mistake comes at a cost, and orcas are always the ones that compel others to make it. On the windless ice floes of the polar seas, seals may appear to hold the advantage. An adult can weigh up to 600 pounds, and a thick layer of blubber allows it to endure waters below 30 degrees Fahrenheit. For many orca populations, seals account for nearly 60% of seasonal energy intake. A rich, high-fat resource, but never an easy one to access. In this frozen environment, orcas do not rely on raw force alone. The hunt begins with patience. Scouts separate from the group, surface quietly, and survey each drifting ice floe. Once a target is identified, a call carries through the water, and the family gathers without delay. They line up side by side, spacing measured with precision from one body to the next. The group accelerates together. Carefully timed tail movements generate artificial waves strong enough to wash a seal from its refuge. When the ice is larger, subsurface swells weaken its structure. If the seal continues to hold position, the lead whale signals for the floe to be pushed into open water, where escape is no longer possible. The peak of the strategy is the use of bubbles. A tightening ring of air disrupts orientation and induces panic. Once the seal slips into the water, the outcome is nearly decided. Yet this is not merely an act of capture. In Antarctic waters, lead whales often slow the sequence on purpose, allowing young orcas to observe every movement. The final action is controlled and precise, not rushed, like a lesson passed down through many seasons of ice. In this frozen ocean, each hunt is not only about survival, but about memory carried from one generation to the next. In temperate and subpolar seas, where the ocean takes on a cold, deep blue, Chinook salmon are more than prey. They are a lifeline. For resident orca families, each mature salmon, rich in fat and protein, provides enough energy to support a massive brain weighing up to 15 pounds, along with the sustained endurance that defines these whales. The pursuit unfolds across the vast openness of the sea. Using highly refined echolocation, orcas quietly separate a single salmon from the floe, patiently guiding it toward shallow water or narrow channels, places where speed no longer offers an advantage. Then comes the decisive moment. A precisely timed tail strike, sends a powerful disturbance across the surface, creating shock waves that leave the fish disoriented and floating. The orca moves in, concluding the hunt with minimal energy expenditure. This tail strike technique is not simply a physical maneuver, but an application of water dynamics. When targeting stingrays, animals equipped with a dangerous barbed tail, orcas rely on the same approach. The non-contact impact induces disorientation, functioning like a natural form of sedation. This allows the orca to manage the situation safely without confronting unnecessary risk. For orcas, this represents the most refined form of hunting. Not a display of force, but a seamless alignment of intelligence, moving water, and knowledge passed down through generations. Humpback whales are among the largest and most striking mammals on Earth. Adults can exceed 50 feet in length and weigh up to about 88,000 pounds, symbols of gentle strength and epic migrations spanning thousands of miles. Their powerful breaches and long, resonant songs have made them icons of ocean freedom. Yet as calves appear more frequently, the ocean also presents moments of vulnerability, drawing the attention of highly adaptive hunters like orcas. In rare encounters, the focus is not on the immense adult, but on a mother-calf pair traveling together. Rather than moving in directly, orcas keep a measured distance, quietly observing the mother's swimming rhythm and defensive responses. They approach in turns, swimming close behind the calf and creating familiar currents and movements, subtle enough to blur the line between protection and risk. As fatigue builds and orientation becomes disrupted, the calf gradually drifts from the protective circle without immediate awareness. That moment marks a shift in the balance of survival, where the orca's intelligence, patience, and strategy turn the open ocean into a trap without visible walls. In documented encounters involving gray whales, orcas have been observed focusing on energy-rich tissue, demonstrating a targeted and efficient approach rather than prolonged engagement. Orcas and dolphins are not strangers. They belong to the same dolphin family, share high intelligence, complex acoustic communication, and deeply bonded social structures. In many ocean regions, the two species occupy the same waters and sometimes even rely on overlapping food sources, routine encounters that sustain a fragile balance. Yet under certain ecological conditions, that balance can shift, giving way to caution, tension, and quiet calculation. In those moments, orcas fully leverage their advantages in size and endurance. An adult can weigh up to 12,000 pounds, along with group coordination refined across generations. One unit creates disruption, forcing the dolphin pod to scatter, while another approaches from deeper water, gradually narrowing the space for movement. Dolphins respond with speeds nearing 20 miles per hour and their signature agility, constantly changing direction while maintaining acoustic contact. But momentum quickly turns as the predators accelerate, applying precise pressure that isolates a separated individual and disrupts control. Across the vast ocean, even species matched in intelligence remain subject to nature's uncompromising rules, where there is no good or evil, only choices that determine survival. Great white sharks have long been seen as symbols of raw power in the ocean. An adult can reach nearly 20 feet in length and weigh around 4,000 pounds. With an acute sense of smell and near-perfect reflexes, it moves calmly through open water, commanding enough presence that most other animals choose to keep their distance. Yet the ocean has never been ruled by strength alone. When orcas enter the scene, the familiar rhythm of the sea begins to shift. There is no chaotic charge. Orcas approach slowly and deliberately, exploiting a natural vulnerability of sharks. When turned upside down, the body enters a temporary state of immobility, losing coordination and control. The moment is brief. Orcas focus on the liver, the most energy-dense organ in the shark's body, rich in oil. The rest is often left behind, reflecting a strategy driven by efficiency rather than display. And across other stretches of ocean, new balances continue to form in silence, steadily shaping the world beneath the surface. Sea lions, close relatives of seals, often haul out onto shorelines or rocky ledges near the water to rest, basking in a sense of temporary security. An adult can weigh over 800 pounds, equipped with powerful jaws and a bite strong enough to deter many threats. Yet it is this very boundary between land and ocean where safety is most easily compromised. Offshore, a pod of orcas holds position quietly in deeper water, tracking every movement. They are not drawn to numbers, but instead wait patiently for a small deviation. A young individual drifting too far, or a brief moment of separation from the group. When an opening appears, several orcas accelerate without warning, rising partially from the water and using the momentum of their massive bodies to close the distance in a single surge. A focused impact to the flank briefly disrupts the sea lion's sense of direction. Once drawn into deeper water, where sea lions gather densely to feed, danger is no longer theoretical. From two sides, the orca pod advances in formation, confining the target within an increasingly narrow space and completely cutting off any return to shore. Every movement is coordinated, unhurried, and controlled, a precise sequence led by a key individual and sustained through collective discipline. This encounter reveals a stark rule of nature. Places that appear safest can, at times, expose the most critical vulnerabilities. The grizzly bear is not a storm-seeking collision. It is the measure of the forest, compelling every species to keep proper formation and respect the season. Each encounter that comes to an end leaves behind a lesson about energy, territory, and limits. If these moments of survival make your pulse quicken, hit like to keep the echo of the wild alive. And if you want to follow the full series, subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next chapter.